Hey guys, it is USS Wisconsin 94, and today I was going to talk about something I've been wondering about for a while, and that is the Japanese Heavies. The Japanese Heavies are the new branch that came out earlier this year that a lot of people do not really care for, mainly for the fact that they're basically giant XP pinatas and whatnot, and some of them are overpowered. Well, not completely overpowered, but maybe just on the border line, especially something like this, the OI, but an OI experiment. But I have something I've been wanting to ask about for a while, and that is could we have a change to the Japanese heavies? And mostly, I'm talking about not really the armor, but it's more down to the gun that they have. Right now, the Tier 6, the OI, the Tier 7, the ONI, and the Tier 8, the OHO, all had the 150 millimeter howitzer Type 96, as you can see here. And one thing I wonder about, is there any way that we can change this, especially for the Tier 7 and the Tier 8? I personally think that only the Tier 6 should have this. It's a little annoying seeing the Tier 6 have it, but I think it'd be a little more interesting, as there's only two tanks that I know of off the top of my head, is the KV-2 and the T-49 that both have 150 millimeter plus derp gun on them. And that's okay. I'm okay with that because you both got very unique tanks. They're very goofy. The KV-2 is basically a much smaller, slower, less armored Oni, and shit like that. Well, T-49 is basically the Walker Bulldog and the KV-2 making a baby and popping out the T-49, basically. But one thing I want to ask about the Japanese Heavies, is there any way we could remove the 150 off the Oni and the OHO and basically give it the 127 that the Type 4 Heavy has as a stock gun? Oh, this is for the Tier 8 version. The Tier 7, I just get rid of the 150 and just give it the stock gun it has, which is the 105. But I asked about the Type 4 Heavies because I think it'd be an interesting Tier 8 gun to have on a Tier 8 tank like the OHO. But I wonder could it actually fit? I really don't have any good pictures that really show the tank or any models. Unfortunately, my phone for Armor Inspector doesn't have it, unfortunately. But it's something that I wonder about. You look in here for the Type 4 and the OHO, and I kind of look at the gun, and I think it might be able to fit, but I don't know. But I think I'd just make them a little better, especially for the OHO. The OHO, the last I looked at it, does not have any premium rounds, which I personally don't care. But it also has terrible armor piercing on it. Well, here we have it on the OHO, the stock gun, the Type 92. And then we have the experimental Type gun Kai, which has 215. And then we go over to the 127 that the Type 4 has. And then we jump it up with the premium round. I think they should have it where the 127 should be on the OHO, but it has the premium rounds of 215 on it. Make it a Tier 8 gun, put on the OHO, remove the 150 from both the Tier 7 and Tier 8, but making it so that it could have a little bit more competitive. Maybe lower the gun depression to about 6 or 7 or something like that in the front or something like that. Although then again, it already has terrible gun depression because there's giant titties in the front because of reasons. But it's just something I wonder about. One thing I'd do if it had the gun, if it had the 127, the stats from here, unfortunately, is the best I can do from Armor Inspector, is I don't actually have the game on right now, is the rate of fire would be lowered, the reload time would be 18 seconds, and the aiming time would be 2.7, and the dispersion would be 0.40. And some other dispersion changes to the on the move, turn, and hold, and other things like that. But it's just something that I'm curious what Wargaming thinks about this, because I don't think these three tanks, I don't think all three of them should have the derp gun. I find that personally really dumb. The OI, I really don't care because it's basically a dumber KV2 is basically just a giant XP pinata. Really easy to take out when you know what you're doing. But that's something that I think they should try to change, personally. I don't really like these tanks that much. I personally am not going to go down this line unless I were to free XP the entire thing. But I'm not going to do that because I'm too cheap to do that and because I really don't want to play any of these tanks. But it's just something that I wonder about. And also would say that I think the Type 4 and the Type 5 would need a buff, especially to its reload. I think PC did that and made it a little better, but then again, nobody plays the Japanese Heavies because there's better Heavies to play. If you want to have a big gun on it, a lot of armor, you got the E100. If you want something that's basically just a wall, you got the mouse, which Wargaming has said that they're going to be changing the lines on the PC version early last year actually, just before the year ended. It's just something I think that would be a good change to the Japanese Heavies. The removal of the 150 from both the Tier 7 and the 8s, the Oni and the Oho. Give the Oho the 127mm gun from the Type 4 as its top gun. So you get the... which gun is it? The Type 92 stock cannon as a stock gun. And then you got the experimental. I think it'd be better just to have the Type 92 and then you get out the 127, personally. But I think that's just something that would change. Is a 127 would have lower pen, bring it down to about 215, 210. So it'd be down in a lower spot in the middle between something like the T32 and VK40 VKA or something like that, which has some of the worst pen for Tier 8. Well, you got other tanks like the Tiger, the King Tiger, IS-3, and the T-34, which have some of the highest pen. But I think it's just something that I would like to see Wargaming try. I know a lot of people are going to be like, they look at the Japanese Heavies and they're just going to laugh. There's really no reason to use them, to fly them. I don't think you can fly them, but okay. But I think it's just something that I think Wargaming should take a look at. I have no idea if they could change the model for the Oho to fit the 127. If they could, I might actually go down the line to try it out of curiosity. But other than that, I have no reason to try out these lines. I find them to be dumb. They're giant XP pinatas, and that's basically what they are. There's not going to be much change to them. The Type 4 and the Type 5 are absolutely garbage, especially compared if you want to have a mouse or an E100. They wanted to try... apparently they wanted to find something that was in the middle between them. But I think they kind of failed miserably at that, but that's just me. Other than that, there's basically just been a couple of changes I would think that they should do to the Japanese Heavies. I have no idea if they would actually do them. I'm going to send this to Rybot, Chad, and maybe Payne himself and see what they think. I have no idea if they're going to say anything, but it's just something I think would be nice to have. So, I guess that's going to be all for this video. So, this is USS Wisconsin 94, and I'll see you guys later.